supreme.
You're king.
This is Iron Chef America.
Three, two, one. Time's up.
A delectable Japanese tradition has taken root in American soil. We have been graced with the establishment of our very own Kitchen Stadium, where our nimble chairman has brought together the pungent flavors of East and West. It is here where the best of the best from around the world meet and face the ultimate gourmet challenge. Welcome to Kitchen Stadium, the only place to be if culinary fisticuffs are what you hope to see. Soon, the altar lid will lift. The secret ingredient to reveal? On some days, it's kind of ordinary, but on other days, it's surreal. Of course, there will be no verdict until all 10 plates are tasted. But I assure you, gentle viewer, your time here won't be wasted. Now let's get cooking! So please allow me to introduce a veritable pantheon of culinary giants. Your very own Iron Chefs, America. Iron Chef Bobby Flay. Iron Chef Masaharu Morimoto. Iron Chef Mario Batali. And Iron Chef Kat Cora. In mere moments, one of these Iron Chefs will be pitted against our challenger, who thirsts to discover our secret ingredient and enter the heat of battle here in Kitchen Stadium. As a child, our challenger sold food from a pushcart on the teeming streets of Bangkok. These days, he works in Soho, dazzling diners at Kitachai, a much-loved eatery that one critic described as the sexiest new restaurant in New York. Foodies love the seductive decor and the mouth-watering dishes. The chairman welcomes Chef Ian Chalerm Kitachai.
Chef Chalerm Kitachai, welcome.
Thank you.
You're a highly trained culinary warrior, but are you ready for the heat of Kitchen Stadium?
I'm all set.
Very good. Now you must choose. Which Iron Chef will you battle?
Iron Chef Mario Batali.
Now.
Let the battle begin! Mario Batali, who was named Best Chef in America in 2005 by the James Beard Foundation, is certain to bring his 21 years of experience to the table today. This matchup of Italian versus Thai cuisine will certainly make for a tasty battle.
But there is one more ingredient to this battle, our secret ingredient. The theme on which our chefs will offer their succulent variations. Today's secret ingredient is lentils!
Yeah! I'm rich!
So now, America, with an open heart and an empty stomach, I say unto you in the words of my uncle,
And Battle Lens Culinaris is on here in Kitchen Stadium. Gracious, do we have a whole lot of lentils up there today?
Pasta, soup, Cimino, tower.
How about a stuffed pasta?
All right, great. So Mario Batali with a plan of attack.
This is a massive family, and of course, the larger legume family. And I spy we've got some green lentils, or what I call Egyptian lentils, or the brown ones. We've got red lentils, perhaps some pink lentils, yellow lentils, and white lentils, which are actually black lentils that have had their skins removed. A very, very ancient food, cultivated as early as 6000 BC, pretty high in both protein and carbohydrates. The interesting thing here is that they have a very wide range of cooking times, depending on their specific type. As a matter of fact, that double convex shape is where the lentil gets its scientific name, Lens Culinaris. It's named after the lens of the eye, and that very specific shape makes these the fastest cooking of the dry legumes, because the cooking liquid has a relatively short trip to make as it goes in. Looking at the action down on the floor, we can see sous chef Ann on the challenger side. Actually, we have an Ann on both sides today, but challenger Ann is working with some palm sugar. That is a sugar that is made from the sap of a few different varieties of palm tree. Over on the Iron Chef side, looking at his board, we've got a couple of onions out, a red cabbage, and looks like some sausages of some type.
Hey, Mario, here's mortadella for you.
Thank you.
Mortadella, that is one gosh darned big sausage. The closest thing, I guess, in the standard American kitchen would be bologna. It's based on a smooth meat emulsion. We've also got some live crustaceans out over on the Iron Chef side down at Mark Laudner's board. We've got also banana leaves being unwrapped by Anne over on Chef Ian's side. We've agreed to call him Chef Ian most of the time because Shalom Kiddushai kind of doesn't trip right off the tongue.
And there we see him working with that lemongrass, and that's going into the stock pot.
And we can see duck confit coming out on the Iron Chef's board. That long-cooked duck, it's being chopped into pieces. Could be using that as strictly a seasoning. Also looks like there's some duck out on the Challenger side. We can see kind of in its steel meal bag there. We've got 2 pieces of what looks to be mallard.
And on the back station in Chef Ian's kitchen, we see some beef tenderloin.
Looks like he's going to quarter that loin and then dig in and take out not only the cap fat, but also some of that connective tissue or silver skin, which will not get any softer during cooking. We can see the Iron Chef's sous chef Anne, eggs aplenty, breaking open some wine. Hopefully not to drink this early in the battle. It's time for me to seek out my culinary cohort on the floor. Kevin, come in. Earth to Kevin.
Alton, how you doing? It's Legumlicious down here on the floor at Kitchen Stadium. Anne's laughing. We got her laughing. She's making some pasta dough. But the only thing you've missed so far, we have fennel, celery, and onion on Mark's cutting board on the Iron Chef side of Kitchen Stadium. We had some shredded coconut going to the convection oven on the Challenger side. You're in pretty good shape, my friend.
Over on the immersion circulator we have over on Chef Ian's side, it looks like that duck that we saw going to the seal meal bags is perking away.
The pump in that water bath continuously circulates the water, keeping it at an even temperature throughout.
The advantage of doing this, of course, is that the meat will be cooked gently all the way through, so we'll have a very even doneness. But it's interesting to see duck on both sides of Kitchen Stadium already in this battle. On the Iron Chef side, we can see some of that crustacean gone into a saute pan, along with some onions and some chopped celery and some other aromatics.
Mario Batali also has 2 pots going. 1 pot red onion and duck confit. The second one smoked paprika and duck confit.
Smoked paprika, of course, something we didn't see here in the United States very often until just a few years ago. Looking down at this pot, we can now see what is called caviar lentils. And they're not just called caviar lentils because they're small and black, but when they're cooked, they actually kind of have a slimy starch coat on the outside that is reminiscent of the texture of caviar.
And just down the counter there, we can see Mark Laudner working with some pancetta. You can see all that fatty goodness there.
Are you happy with the lentil, Chef?
Beautiful, magnificent selection. Very happy.
Good, very happy. We can see those long beans out on the board of our Challenger today, and they can grow up to 3 feet long, although they're usually picked when they're about 18 inches long. And we can see the chefs cutting those up into chunks. Beautiful shot of those langoustines over on the Iron Chef side of the world. You can call those a few different things. You can call them langoustines. You can, in some places, call them prawns. They are not related to crawfish very closely, but they are closely related to lobsters. And we've got some green onions coming out on the board of the Iron Chef.
Over on the Challenger side, sous chef Anne has just combined the contents of 2 bowls. The first bowl having all-purpose flour and rice flour. The second was a mixture of eggs, coconut cream, palm sugar, and some water and limestone powder.
Interesting to note that limestone, almost 100% calcium carbonate. What else is calcium carbonate? Baking soda, of course, and so this is basically a leavening product. And I myself have often said that salt is the only rock we eat, and I've just been proven wrong because, heck, limestone, pretty sure that's a rock.
Our Chef Batali has some of that magnificent mortadella going into the food processor.
In the blender on the Challenger side, Alton, we have a mixture of cilantro, mint, hazelnut oil, hoisin, and oyster sauce.
Hoisin and oyster sauce, okay. Those red lentils bubbling away next to a pot of the small green depuis lentils.
Sous chef Peter on the Challenger side is making a seasoning pouch. In there, we've got some saffron, turmeric, and yellow curry, and that is going in with the rice in the rice cooker.
15 minutes have
And 1/4 of battle lentil is already behind us. Now, interesting, Iron Chef Mario Batali taking some of those, I believe those started as red lentils because they turn yellow or gold when they're cooked. He boiled those, now placing them in the food processor along with that mortadella sausage. So we can only assume he's going to be making some kind of moussey thing. That's a technical term, by the way.
And we've got some milk being whisked out by Chef Ian over on his board. He's got some eggs in there, too.
So, Elton, on the Iron Chef side, the mortadella has had to add to it parm cheese and some olive oil.
And nutmeg.
And nutmeg.
And nutmeg. Don't leave out the nutmeg. Of course, that is something that is much better grated straight off the nut.
Then swept off the shop floor,
Then swept
perhaps.
off the shop floor, exactly. Now, oh, we have a strange device on the Challenger side. Check this out. This is basically kind of a little Thai pancake maker that has kind of 4